This testimony has never been shared with Western media until now. Kim Sung-chul spent 20 years inside North Korea's diplomatic corps, the regime's most secretive arm representing Pyongyang in Beijing, Africa, and Southeast Asia. What he discovered abroad shattered his entire worldview. Secret YouTube videos, defector interviews, and the truth about political prison camps. On May 8, 2024, North Korean agents chased his family through city streets, grabbing his collar just meters from safety. But he didn't stop running. For more exclusive testimonies, subscribe and become part of our investigative community. Your engagement helps us uncover stories the world needs to hear. My name is Kim Sung-chul. I'm 54 years old, a former North Korean diplomat. I grew up in the Diplomat apartments on Changjeon Street in Pyongyang. My family had produced diplomats for 3 generations, a prestigious lineage. My grandfather was an anti-Japanese guerrilla fighter who worked in foreign affairs after liberation. My father spent his entire career as a diplomat, traveling the world in service to our country. From childhood, I heard the same message over and over. You must become a diplomat, too. You must bring honor to our nation. Life in Pyongyang was privileged. While ordinary citizens stood in line for rations, rice, oil, and meat arrived at our door every month. At the foreign currency stores, we could buy South Korean snacks and Japanese drinks. Our heat never cut out in winter. In summer, we ran fans whenever we wanted. I thought this was normal. In 1998, I entered Kim Il-sung, University's Foreign Languages Department, majoring in English. The place was filled with North Korea's elite. My roommate was a party official's son. Every classmate came from the core class. We studied English and French, dreaming of the day we'd work on the world stage. I met Mi Kyung during university. She attended the Foreign Languages Institute. Smart, beautiful. Most importantly, she shared my dedication to serve our country. We married in 2002. 2 years later, our son Junho was born. 3 years after that came our daughter, Sujin. In 2005, I received my official foreign ministry assignment. My first post was Beijing. I spent 5 years in China, 6 in Africa. Then from 2015 onward in Southeast Asia, over 20 years abroad as a diplomat. Junho entered Kim Il-sung University in 2019. After graduation, he became a foreign ministry intern. Sujin majored in English at the Foreign Languages University. Our family tradition was continuing into its 4th generation. I felt proud. I felt honored. But back then, I never imagined I'd soon be abandoning everything, that I'd have to run. In 2015, I was posted to a Southeast Asian country. The position was counselor. Mi Kyung came along as embassy staff. The children and my parents stayed in Pyongyang. That first impression was shocking. Cars packed the streets. Neon signs blazed through the night. Supermarkets overflowed with food, far more variety than Pyongyang's foreign currency stores could ever offer. Local people laughed freely, talked openly, lived without fear. Something felt wrong. We'd been taught we lived in the world's most prosperous nation. For the first time, doubt crept in. But doubt was dangerous. State security agents operated inside the embassy. Colleagues monitored each other. The slightest suspicious behavior got reported straight to Pyongyang. When COVID-19 struck in 2020, North Korea sealed its borders completely. Trade with China stopped. Travel ceased. Overseas embassy personnel began mass recalls. Around that time, strange rumors reached us. Rations had been cut. Even the markets faced crackdowns. People were starving to death. I called Junho. Father, things in Pyongyang are difficult right now. I'm worried about grandfather and grandmother. They're getting old. The rations have been reduced. My son's cautious voice made my heart sink. One day in 2021, I noticed a YouTube video on a local employee's phone, a defector interview. That night, I searched secretly. What I found was devastating. North Korea's political prison camps, public executions, children dying of starvation, defectors testifying to horrific realities. North Korea is hell. It's not a place for human beings. They wept as they spoke. At first, I tried to dismiss it as enemy propaganda, but the truth in their eyes was undeniable. Their stories were specific. vivid. When they mentioned the Chinese embassy where I'd worked, I couldn't deny it anymore. They were telling the truth. I'd seen it myself. From that night on, I watched YouTube almost daily. Enemy news broadcasts, defector testimonies, human rights reports. The more I watched, the more my worldview crumbled. Everything I'd believed my entire life was a lie. In 2022, something even more shocking happened. A colleague from our embassy was recalled to Pyongyang. 2 weeks later, his entire family was publicly executed. The charge anti-party, anti-revolutionary activity. Nobody knew the details. Mere suspicion had condemned an entire family to death. That's when it hit me. This could happen to us. Anytime. One night, Mi-kyung asked quietly, "What's on your mind lately?" I hesitated, then answered carefully, "Mi-kyung, have we been deceived our whole lives?" Tears filled her eyes. In a small voice she said, "I've thought the same thing." That night, we spoke honestly about the truth for the first time. We'd both known all along. Everything we'd believed was a lie. In summer 2023, Jun-ho came for a foreign ministry, intern training rotation at our embassy. At 25, my son looked mature, but his eyes were dark, exhausted. One evening during a walk, Jun-ho said, "Father, I don't want to go back to Pyongyang." "What are you saying?" "Pyongyang isn't a place to live anymore. Surveillance and control have only gotten worse. I don't want to spend my life like that." My son had realized it too, how distorted and oppressive our world had become. New Year 2024 arrived. Kim Jong-un's address emphasized overseas citizens' return to the homeland. The moment I heard those words, a chill ran down my spine. I sensed it immediately. A major purge of overseas embassies was coming. Late January, my premonition became reality. A cable arrived from Foreign Ministry headquarters. First half 2024 50% reduction in overseas embassy personnel. Long-term postings recalled first. I'd been there 9 years. Obviously, I was first on the list. Early February, the official recall order arrived. Return to Pyongyang by April 30th. Mi-kyung and I didn't sleep that night. What did returning to Pyongyang mean? Thorough ideological inspection. Every action during our 9 years abroad would be investigated. Phone records, internet history, contacts with locals, everything. The scarier part was recent rumors. A European diplomat had been executed after returning in late 2023. Families of Chinese embassy staff had been sent to political prison camps. Early March, another cable from Pyongyang heightened our anxiety. Submit thorough self-criticism report before return. Detail any ideological wavering during overseas life. The moment I read that document, I knew. Going back meant the end. The YouTube videos I'd watched secretly, my searches for enemy news, suspicious conversations with colleagues, all of it would be exposed. Mid-March, Soo-jin called from Pyongyang. My 22-year-old daughter's voice trembled with fear. "Dad, Appa's friend got caught trying to defect. His whole family was taken away, even his grandparents. Soo-jin, you can't talk about things like that over the phone." "Dad, I'm scared. Pyongyang is so frightening right now." Hearing my daughter's terror, my heart raced out of control. If we went back, our entire family would be in danger. Late March, I called my 84-year-old father. "Father, it's Sung-chul. You're coming back in April, right? Hurry home. Your mother misses you terribly." My father's voice still sounded strong, but somehow lonely. "Father, I'm sorry." "Why so suddenly?" I couldn't say more. I couldn't tell him what I was about to do. "Take care of your health, Father. I love you." After hanging up, I cried for a long time. I knew that would be my last conversation with my father. Early April, the atmosphere inside the embassy grew suffocating. Staff confirmed for recall were all anxious, watching each other, suspecting each other. Fear was everywhere. Nobody knew who might defect first. One night, I called Mi-kyung over and spoke quietly. "Mi-kyung, let's defect." She looked at me in shock but didn't object. Instead, tears streamed down her face as she nodded. We needed to get our children here somehow. Fortunately, mid-April, the embassy had a family visitation program, a week-long event. Inviting staff families from Pyongyang, I immediately applied for Soo-jin's visit. I also contacted Jun-ho. He'd returned to Pyongyang after last year's training, but I requested his redeployment under the pretext of needing additional training. April 15th. Miraculously, both children arrived. The moment I saw them at the airport, Mi-kyung and I couldn't hold back tears. How much we'd missed them. That night, our family gathered at the quarters. I took a deep breath and began. Junho, Sujin, Father has something to tell you. Everything I've believed my entire life, everything we were taught, it was all lies. Heavy silence filled the room. Junho and Sujin stared at me in shock. The Juche ideology we learned, Chairman Kim Il-sung's achievements, the socialist paradise, all of it was lies. North Korea isn't heaven on earth. It's hell. Father, Junho's voice trembled. I already knew. These past few years in Pyongyang, I became more and more certain. This isn't a normal country. Sujin spoke quietly too. Me too, Dad. Watching friends starve to death. Watching people get caught trying to escape, I kept questioning everything. Relief washed over me, mixed with surprise. All three of us had been thinking the same thing. So Father has made a decision. Our entire family will defect together. May 8th, we'll seek asylum at the South Korean embassy. But what about grandfather and grandmother? Sujin asked, choking up. That question tore my heart apart. Sujin, grandfather and grandmother are already 84. Far and 81. Chatapoditwantui infuandin. We can't bring them here. Their health won't allow it. Then what happens to them? If we defect, they'll face retaliation, guilt by association. Grandfather, grandmother, your uncle's family, they'll all suffer. They could go to a political prison camp. The air in the room grew heavy. We all understood choosing freedom meant our Pyongyang family would suffer in hell. Mi-kyung spoke through tears. Father-in-law, mother-in-law, I'm a sinner. Mi-kyung, this isn't your fault. This is all of our choice. Junho asked calmly, Father, do you have a specific plan? We'll run straight into the South Korean embassy. Once we're inside, we'll be protected as Republic of Korea citizens. We planned details until dawn. D-Day, May 8th, Wednesday morning. We'd pretend to leave for work as usual, then head straight to the South Korean embassy. April 20th, I made my last call to Pyongyang. Father, it's Sung-chul. Ah, Sung-chul. You're coming home soon, right? Your mother counts the days. Hearing my father's voice choked me up. Father, I'm doing well. Please take care of your health. I love you. Yes, you stay healthy too. Oh, and Sung-chul, you've been a son to be proud of your entire life. At those words, I couldn't hold back tears. Father, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The moment I hung up, I collapsed and sobbed. The night of May 7th, the day before our defection, I couldn't sleep. Neither could Mi-kyung. Honey, we won't regret this, will we? No regrets. At least our children will live freely. Before dawn, I sat at my desk and wrote a letter. My last letter to Father. Father, your unfilial son Sung-chul writes this. I know what I've done is an enormous act of disloyalty. But Father, I couldn't live in lies anymore. I pray desperately that someday I'll see you again. 7 a.m. We prepared as usual, but my heart pounded like it would burst. All right, let's go. May 8th, 2024. The day we leapt toward freedom. 8:30 a.m. We left the embassy quarters as usual. I carried a briefcase. Mi-kyung held her handbag. Junho and Sujin carried small backpacks. Outwardly, it looked like an ordinary morning, but all four hearts were hammering. Counselor Kim, you're out early today. The guard greeted me. Yes, I have a report to send to headquarters. I answered as naturally as possible. Your family's with you too. Oh, the kids wanted to see the city. Cold sweat ran down my back as we passed the guardhouse. If we'd looked even slightly suspicious, they would have stopped us immediately. As soon as we reached the main road, I hailed a taxi. Take us to the central post office. I deliberately gave a different destination, in case we were tracked later. The taxi started. Sujin in the back seat gripped my hand tightly. Her hand was ice cold. It's okay, Sujin. Just a little longer. At the central post office, we quickly caught another taxi. The South Korean embassy. This time, I gave the real destination. The taxi crossed the city. 20 minutes, but it felt like 20 hours. Had the North Korean embassy already noticed? We were gone. Were pursuers following us? Father, look. Junho spoke in a low voice. Ahead, we could see a building with the Taegeuk flying. The Republic of Korea Embassy. Stop here, please. The moment we got out, I quickly scanned our surroundings. Fortunately, no suspicious vehicles or people. Let's walk fast. The South Korean embassy was right ahead. 50 meters, 40 meters, 30 meters. Then, Kim Sung-chul, a shout in Korean from behind. I turned. 2 North Korean embassy vehicles were rushing toward us. They'd found us. Run! I shouted. Our family sprinted at full speed, just 20 meters to the South Korean embassy gate. But those 20 meters felt endless. Stop! Stop right now! North Korean agents jumped from their vehicles and chased us. 15 meters, 10 meters. We are Republic of Korea citizens. Please protect us. I shouted toward the South Korean embassy guards. The guards grasped the situation and opened the gate. 5 meters. 3 meters. Kim Sung-chul, what about your children? A North Korean agent yelled. But we didn't stop. Junho crossed through the embassy gate first. Soo-jin followed. As Mi-kyung and I entered last, a North Korean agent grabbed my collar. I shook off his hand and leaped inside the embassy. South Korean guards immediately shut the gate. The North Korean agents shouted outside the embassy entrance, but they couldn't reach us anymore. I collapsed on the spot. Soo-jin ran into my arms. Dad, is everyone okay? Mi-kyung pulled the children into an embrace. The 4 of us stood there, holding each other, crying. Fear and relief, sorrow and joy, all mixed in those tears. This is the Republic of Korea. A South Korean diplomat approached. You're safe now. Hearing those words, I finally believed it. We'd done it. We'd found freedom. But complex emotions flooded in immediately. My 84-year-old father and 81-year-old mother in Pyongyang, had they heard the news of our defection by now? Father, Mother, I'm sorry. I repeated it in my heart. The morning of May 9th, our first day at the South Korean Embassy's protection facility. News broadcasts were filled with stories of our asylum. North Korean diplomat family of 4 seeks asylum at South Korean Embassy. Foreign Ministry issues statement, protecting them as Republic of Korea citizens. North Korea issues strong backlash, warns of traitor punishment. Mi-kyung turned away from watching the news. The screen showed North Korean state media reports. Traitor Kim Sung-chul family betrays homeland and people. Enemies of revolution will be severely punished. My heart sank. North Korean media had released our family photos, branding us as traitors. And there was a line, family and relatives under strict investigation. That afternoon, a National Intelligence Service officer visited. Counselor Kim, I need to inform you about the situation in Pyongyang. What about my parents? The officer hesitated, then spoke. According to our information, they've been transferred to the Yongbyon region. Yongbyon? That's where the political prison camps are. The air in the room froze. My 84 and 81-year-old parents in a political prison camp. And my younger brother, he was also taken into custody. This was the consequence of my choice. For our family's freedom, my Pyongyang family had been thrown into hell. This is what I've done. I fell apart. For 2 weeks, we underwent debriefing at the embassy. The Foreign Ministry organization oversees embassy operations, foreign currency earning methods, smuggling routes. I provided every piece of information I knew. Counselor Kim, your testimony is extremely valuable. It helps us understand the reality of North Korea's diplomatic system. This was all I could do. Embassy life felt suffocating, but I also sensed new hope. We could use the internet freely, watch news without censorship, say anything. This was freedom. I truly understood. May 20th. Our departure for South Korea was finally confirmed. Early morning on the 22nd, you'll fly to Incheon International Airport. For your protection, this will proceed in secret. News from Pyongyang. About your father. The officer spoke carefully. Yes, he's confirmed alive. However, his health isn't good. Tears poured from my eyes. Thank you. Thank God he's alive. The night of May 21st, the day before departure, our family each wrote letters to our Pyongyang family. Though we couldn't send them, We wanted to express what we'd say when unification finally came. To my beloved father and mother, your unfilial son Sung Chul writes, I know how enormous my betrayal is. But father, I couldn't live in lies anymore. The next morning before dawn, we left the embassy. Travel safely. No, go home safely. Embassy staff saw us off. We boarded the plane, a flight to the Republic of Korea. Now we were truly flying toward freedom. May 23rd, 2024, 5 a.m. The plane flew through darkness. Looking out the window, stars sparkled brilliantly. Watching that starlight, I wondered, could we now shine freely like those stars? Honey, can't sleep? Mi-kyung asked softly. Yes, too nervous. Me too. What will the Republic of Korea really be like? Ladies and gentlemen, we'll soon be landing at Incheon International Airport. Hearing that announcement, my heart began racing again. The plane started descending. Through the window, I could see Incheon's night view. Countless lights sparkled. Wow, it's incredible! Junho gasped in admiration. The plane touched down on the runway. Welcome to the Republic of Korea. Hearing those words, I couldn't hold back tears. Passing through immigration, I saw the Taegukgi, that beautiful flag of blue and red intertwined. I stopped and stared at it for a long moment. That's our flag, Dad. Yes, Sujin. That's our flag now. We drove toward Seoul. The Seoul we saw from the highway was astonishing. High-rise buildings, brilliant neon signs, countless cars. It's bigger than Pyongyang. It's not just size. The people living there, they all live freely. Crossing the Han River, we saw people jogging along the riverbank. Even before dawn, they moved freely. You can go out freely at night here? Sujin was amazed. No travel permits needed, no checkpoints. We arrived at a protection facility on Seoul's outskirts. A modest house with a living room, 3 bedrooms, kitchen, and bathroom. Is this our home? Sujin's eyes sparkled. The adaptation education began. Korean history, politics, economy, society, culture. South Korea is a democracy. The president is directly elected by citizens. Single 5-year term. Wow! We were all amazed. Citizens directly choosing their leader? Freedom of the press is guaranteed. Read any newspaper, watch any broadcast, nobody interferes. Freedom. Only now did I truly understand how precious that word was. Mid-June, we went outside the facility for the first time. Walking through Myeongdong, there are so many people. Sujin marveled. Entering a convenience store, 24-hour operation, every kind of food and daily necessities. Can we buy all this? Of course, if you have money. Even riding the subway amazed us. Clean, fast, and most importantly, free Wi-Fi. Dad, the internet works here. Sujin was astonished. We went up to Seoul Tower and looked out over the cityscape. The city stretched endlessly. This is our country? Mi-kyung's eyes welled with tears. Yes, this is our country now. Father, I'm certain now. Junho spoke. We made the right choice. Living freely like this, that's normal. Late July, adaptation education ended. Early August, we moved into a Seoul apartment. Finally, our own home. Through the window, we could see the Han River. Let's truly live as free people now. Fall 2024. We were gradually adapting to Seoul life. Junho got a job at a trading company. Through a defector employment support program, his foreign language skills earned him recognition. He was assigned to the overseas sales department. One day in September, Father, I finally received my first salary. 2.5 million won. This is the reward for my labor. Nobody takes it away. I don't have to offer it to the party. It's truly mine. At Junho's words, we all smiled. He'd realized the value of economic freedom. Sujin was preparing for university transfer exams for Korea, university's English literature department. Mom, can I really become a college student? Of course. You're smart enough. Just take it slow. Mi-kyung started volunteer counseling at a defector community center. I met a newly arrived defector family today. A young couple in their 20s. Reminded me of when we first arrived, so I helped them. Good job. We received so much help, too. I began working as a North Korean issues expert. Late September, I testified as a witness. At a National Assembly human rights hearing, Witness, please testify about the human rights violations you witnessed. As a North Korean diplomat, yes, the North Korea I saw was hell. Even we, the privileged class, lived under constant surveillance, suspicion, and fear. Ordinary citizens starve, face oppression, live lives beneath human dignity. After the hearing, a reporter approached. Do you have any message for your family in North Korea? I spoke slowly toward the camera. Father, mother, your unfilial son, Sung-chul, here. Please forgive me. When unification comes, I'll visit you. Until then, stay healthy. I love you. In October, I became an advisory committee member for a defector human rights organization. November, I testified about North Korea's human rights situation at a UN Human Rights Council session. Ladies and gentlemen, I was a North Korean diplomat for 20 years. What I witnessed was systematic oppression, surveillance, and brutality. After finishing my testimony, representatives from various countries applauded. This is what I must do. December, Soo-jin passed the university transfer exam. Mom, Dad, I got in! Really? Our daughter did so well. That evening, we grilled samgyeopsal at a Han River restaurant, sharing stories. A year ago, we never could have imagined this, Mi-kyung said, that we'd be living freely in South Korea like this. But this is reality. The freedom we chose. The life we seized. Christmas Eve, we went to church for the first time. Lord, thank you for giving our family freedom. Please watch over father and mother in North Korea. And may North Korea's 20 million citizens someday taste freedom too. December 31st, year's end. We watched Seoul's fireworks from our apartment rooftop. Wow, so beautiful. Fireworks painted the night sky. Honey, what do you want to do in 2025? Continue human rights work. And someday, I want to write a book. Our story. Good idea. Many people need to know. As midnight struck, we embraced each other. I love you all. We love you too, Dad. Let's live happily in 2025 too. As fireworks illuminated the night sky, I looked toward the northern sky. Father, mother, your son is living freely now. Someday, I'll see you again. Until then, stay healthy. A breeze blew. The wind of freedom.